Sunday Meditation, Easter, April 19th, 1981. LL Research channeling Hatonn, Latwii, and Nona. L. Channeling. I am Hatonn, and I greet you, my brothers, in the love and in the light of the infinite Creator. My brothers, it is with great pleasure that we of the Federation are able to share with you once again our simple thoughts and aspirations for those of your planet and dimension. It is easy enough for us to see areas of improvement that you may strive towards, yet, my brothers, you must understand that your confusion is similar to the confusion that we experience on our own level. Therefore, my brothers, do not be downhearted at our seeming unwillingness to communicate to you those lessons which you are striving so hard to learn in your struggle for growth. We of Hatonn are pleasured in that we are often sought by those of this group and other groups for our advice. Yet we are reluctant often to communicate to you the answer to those questions you pose. For, my brothers, it is not our place to prevent your growth by handing you the answers as one schoolboy with the crib sheet to another. At this time, my brothers, I would like to attempt to contact the one known as E. If he will be patient, relax, and open his mind, we will attempt to speak through him. I am Hatonn. E. Channeling. I am Hatonn, and I greet you again in the love and light of the infinite Creator. We are most delighted to be working with this entity. If he can relax, he will find that it is not difficult. I am Hatonn, and I would transfer to the one known as Jim. Jim, channeling. I am Hatonn, and am with this instrument. It is our privilege to speak to you once again, and tonight it is an especial joy to be able to use one more new instrument in the sending of our simple message of love. We of Hatonn are most honored to be able to partake in this sharing of love, which is the Creator's love, with those of our brothers and sisters of your people, and especially to this meditation group which we have long been associated with. It is always a joy to speak of the communion with the one infinite Creator, with those with ears, hearts, and minds which are opened to the frequency of love. It is a message which one would think all would wish to hear, and in truth, so it is. But many do not know consciously that this message is that which their hearts yearn to hear. Many have not been able to realize that that which is missing from their lives is the simple message of love. Many attempt to fill that empty place in their beings with many other messages, many other thoughts, many other things. Much time and effort is spent in accumulating those thoughts, things, and ideas which it is hoped will fill that void. Your reality, your everyday life is filled with those substitutes, those items of a transient nature which are the catalysts for your growth, but are not that substance that will fill that empty place. For within all of the creation of the Father, there is the space which contains all of creation, the space between all things, the space within all things. That vacuum, as it were, that needs to be filled with love, and, in fact, is filled with love. Those entities upon your planet are not consciously aware, for the most part, of that love that surrounds each in every activity in which each engages. It is the plan of the Creator that each of those upon your planet shall eventually know that love is that which each seeks. It is the plan of the Creator that each shall consciously become aware that love is that which they have not realized as the foundation of their being. It is the plan that each shall so realize and shall travel upon that path of love which they have been unconsciously traveling for many eons of time. The cycle of growth upon your planet Earth now draws to a close in its present state of being. Those who have learned the lessons of love, of service to the Creator, shall pass through the graduation, shall continue their growth on the upward spiraling arc of oneness that binds us all together. Those who have not yet learned the lessons of love shall have the honor of repeating once again that great cycle of growth with every opportunity made available to learn the lessons of love. For there is no other lesson within your density which can allow the student of life to pass on to the next grade, so to speak. We of Hatonn feel the greatest of honors in being able to share in some small way our simple understanding of the Creator's love. We hope that we have been of some aid to you throughout these many years of meditation and messages we have brought to the best of our ability. Our message has been simple. The love of the Creator is within each being, each moment, and in each part of the creation. And through the simple act of meditation, might this love be known. At this time, we would transfer this contact to the one known as Carla. I am Hatonn. Carla, channeling. I am Hatonn, and I greet you once again, my brethren, in the love and in the light. As we were saying, in your meditations dwell upon the simple yet deep lesson which you will need in order to move forward. In meditation, my friends, feel the roots of spirit growing deep, deep, and deeper still to the ground of silence. Perceive yourself, not as the willow whose celery green color is always the first to show in the spring and whose beauty is unparalleled, but as the mighty cedar or oak. Such trees have their own being, but there is one great difference. The willow has roots that move shallowly in the earth, drinking eagerly and quickly from the thirsty grounds, feeding and growing and ripening and bearing fruit in haste. Yet the storm comes and the wind blows, and the willow is torn from the ground. It takes a mighty wind indeed to topple a cedar, for the roots go deep. It takes a great wind, my friends, to fell an oak, for the roots seek downward, ever downward, into the deeper sources of moisture, of life, of food. In your meditation, my friends, know that you are a thing growing quietly, nourished and nurtured from the earth of your silence. Do not be satisfied with your own quick results. Do not be fooled by the constant taking of your own spiritual temperature. Simply and patiently seek ever deeper in silence for the waters of truth, that they may nourish you and lift you up, that your fruits may be strong and good and ready for the harvest time. At this time, we would attempt to contact the one known as N in order to say a few closing words. If this entity would relax and cease all analysis and request this contact, we will attempt to send our thoughts to him in such a way that they may be perceived. I am Hatonn. Still Carla, channeling. I am Hatonn. I am again with this instrument. We thank the one known as N for the privilege of working with this instrument. We have some difficulty in making the contact due to the interference of misperception as to the sensations surrounding contact. It will be in time that which may be worked with, and we look forward to any opportunity which may be offered to us. We would close through this instrument at this time. My friends, many will come to you and ask you for answers, and you yourself will seek them. Remember the lesson of the willow. True answers come from deep within your being. The shallow ones may be moved by the storms of your illusion. We meet with you whene'er you meditate. We send you our love in every moment, and yet not ours, but that of the Creator's. We are those of Hatonn, and we leave you in the love and in the light of our infinite Creator. Adonai, my friends. Adonai Vasu Boragas. I am Latwii, and I greet you in the love and in the light of the infinite Creator. It is our privilege to speak to your group, though we have an odd situation, for we have an embarrassment of riches. We would be able to use each of 3 instruments, and we are having difficulty at first scan in detecting any questions that you might have. Therefore, we may speak, but do not know to which topic you may put us. Therefore, we have chosen this instrument because she does not have any questions. May we ask if you, at this time, if you would like to ask any questions. If so, please feel free. L. I have several questions. First, I understand to some extent the significance of the entity Ra during our previous Egyptian culture. Is there any significance to the Egyptian god Osiris, or was Osiris primarily a creation of man at that time? Latwii. I am Latwii. This is a somewhat difficult question due to the fact that the answer is double in nature. The specific character Osiris is part of a system of belief in which there are many names for the same basic story. The name Osiris, then, is a type of thought form. Further, the story itself has an extremely important meaning. If you will consider the various religions among your peoples, there are many crucified or dismembered entities which are then considered saviors, or those which add fertility of the earth. The understanding ranges from the crucifixion for the sake of the earth to that of sacrifice for the sake of the so-called soul. This general type of story you may see as the basic pattern of passion or intended love, whereby the disharmonies and difficulties of existence are brought into a more helpful configuration due to the sacrificial act, whether it be intended or unintended of an entity, Osiris being one such entity. This, then, is another type of thought form being, one which is quite integrated into the mass consciousness of your race and your planet. There is not an entity from the Confederation who was hacked to pieces and is now king of the underworld. Is there another question? L. Yes, I am interested in doing some work on a farm and wish to approach it in a manner that is more in balance with the universe than to do it in a destructive manner. For this reason, I am interested in contacting some of the land spirits, or devas as we call them for that area, if there is such. Could you give me some information on how to go about this? Latwii. I am Latwii. My brother, this information is most easily given. Remember that not all beings may speak. Therefore you may speak to them, though they speak not to you. Yet they hear you. In this manner you may approach the devas, as you call them. These spirits will, to the less sensitive beings, be silent and unseen. Yet you shall contact them if you sit in meditation and speak with them upon reaching the appropriate state, universal love and respect, of which you have spoken. In time, you may find that due to your faith, you will be able to feel, hear, or see these spirits. They will, in any case, respond to you and cooperate more and more as you hope. May we answer you further? L. You've answered me completely. Thank you. Latwii. As always, your thanks are returned and doubled, for we are most happy to communicate. We don't know where you were hiding these questions when we scanned, but we are most pleased. Is there another question? N. Did the Caucasian, Negroid, and Oriental people come from a common root being, or did one or more of these groups originate on another planet? Latwii. I am Latwii. All of your beings originated either upon another planet, or were those which manifested from another density of your own planet. You do not have any Native Americans, as I believe you call them. Everyone moves in the search for truth. To be more specific, the various races all have one great commonality, that being that they are the Creator. Some races are differentiated due to the climatic needs of various geographic regions of your planetary surface. Others did indeed come from other planetary spheres. May we answer you further? N. Where would the Orientals have come from? Latwii. I am Latwii. This instrument has this information in her conscious mind. However, we will also speak to the subject. These entities are from a place which you would call Deneb. May we answer you further, my brother? N. What is Deneb? Latwii. This is a star system. May we answer you further, my brother? N. No. Latwii. As we may say, if you have seen one star system, you have seen them all, due to the fact that one love created this universe. We intend not only to joke with you, but to make a point. That being that there is no alienness to the creation, no strangeness to the Creator, but rather an infinite variety of representations of love. Is there another question at this time? E. I would like to ask you a question, Latwii. First of all, I would like to say hello. My question is, I have been getting a picture of the universe as a place that is teeming with life, like our oceans are. And I also have gotten the impression that solar systems are common to stars. And my question, first of all, is, are solar systems common to stars? And if so, how is it? What are the dynamics involved in their formation? Why do solar systems form around stars? Latwii. I am Latwii. Hello, my brother. You certainly ask zingers. In the first place, it is correct that the universe teems with life. For are not all things alive? Is not love available in each portion of light which forms the creation, in whatever form that light may take? As to the query about planetary systems, they are, of course, common to suns, since solar systems would have a difficult time being common to anything else. The nature of the formation is the zinger. This takes some little thought and deliberate speech. If you can imagine a force which is expanding, and another force which you may consider that of the materialization of love, which are contracting into an ordered state due to a plan of love, you may see that form a great beginning of creation. First, great things are created, and then smaller and smaller still. Thus, the sun coalescing sends forth radiations and emissions, which, being thrown out themselves, coalesce and become the solar system, so called. May we answer you further, my brother? E. Yes, is the solar system that we live in more or less typical of solar systems in general in the number of planets, the size of planets, and the life on the planets? Latwii. I am Latwii. Your planet is typical of a planet of a certain type of star. There are quite a few different types of stars. Not all stars begin at the same point and evolution as you would perceive this in your density. Thus, we may say that for your type of star, Side 1 of the tape recording this session ends here. We pick up on Side 2 with Carla channeling Latwii. Planetary system is fairly typical in the number of planets, perhaps a bit more than the average, but one gets into trouble with statistics. So-called numbers always confuse. For instance, it is in this instrument's head that she has recently heard that each couple has 1.7 children. I ask you, my brother, of what meaning is this statistic? We will simply say that the solar system is typical of its particular type of radiant energy. May we answer you further? E. What color are you in tonight? Latwii. We are in a lovely color, my brother. Follow us in your mind. What do you see? E. Nothing very clearly. I'm afraid I get a little bit of purple. Latwii. I am Latwii. We will have to get better contact with you, my brother. We are in a beautiful shade you would call tangerine. We are studying some of the effects of your Earth magnetic field, as opposed to the planetary consciousness effects, verging into orange from the yellow. It is quite a beautiful shade, very rich and full of life. May we answer you further, my brother? E. No, thank you. Latwii. We thank you also, my brother. Is there another question at this time? L. When an entity who once lived on this planet, known as C.S. Lewis, authored several works, was he receiving any form of communication from any source that you are aware of as a stimulus for his writings? Latwii. I am Latwii. This information can be helpful to you, my brother, for it is sometimes thought by those who listen to us that everything useful on a planet such as yours was given by some extraterrestrial source. This is not so. The entity of whom you spoke found in his meditations a very rich vein of memory and vision made available by angelic guardians and his higher self. With these companions, this entity was moved to speak in perhaps of some of the most persuasive prose on your planet to the subject of Christianity, love, peace, and understanding of the nature of good and evil. May we answer you further, my brother? L. I'll need to examine that before I can even come up with another question. I thank you for your answer. Latwii. You are most welcome. Is there another question? E. Yes, I'd like to ask you one more question, Latwii. Does it make sense to use the sun as a light source for a color therapy device rather than using an artificial light source? The reason I ask this is because it would be a lot more difficult to use the sun. So if an incandescent source would be as good or nearly as good, it would make more sense to go with that. But if the sun were a lot better than an incandescent source, it would make more sense to go with that and do the extra work that it would take to make it work. Latwii. I am Latwii. Although I am aware of your question, I find an answer to your question bordering upon infringement of free will. May we say this: the calculations necessary to determine the difference between the one source and the other are readily available to the tutored mind, of which we see you have one. Therefore, the differences are known to you. Your query is involved in the question of healing. This is the area of free will upon which we feel we cannot infringe. We are sorry not to be of more aid, my brother. Is there another question? I am Latwii. May we thank you once again for the fascinating array of questions which you have given us to consider. We cannot thank you enough and are most grateful to you for providing us with the opportunity to again be of some small service to you, a part of the infinite Creator. We serve you, we love you, we send you our light, and in this Creator's love and this Creator's light we leave you now. I am known to you as Latwii. Adonai Basu Waragas. At this point, the transcript ends. However, it finishes with a note. Carla channels Nona singing for several minutes to end the meditation. With that, our transcript ends here.
Go forth then, rejoicing in the power and the peace of the